Welcome to Tell You Later, the show where you learn so little about so much and vice versa. Sincere thanks to all those who support us on Patreon. See the full list at the end of the show.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to their channel.
We haven't got a title song for this show, so we're singing this thing instead.
Okay.
It's really just a substitute. Nonetheless, the melody may stay in your head.
Oh, I hope so.
'Cause it's a tune.
It's a tune.
You'll love to croon.
You'll love to croon.
Ah, but there's one thing you should know. We have to confess we do not possess a title song for this show.
Ain't it peculiar?
Believe it or not, we haven't got a title song for this show.
Oops.
And I want you to cover your hands with man's gloves, put on man's jeans, a man's shirt. Of course, I had to button it all the way up. Put on a cowboy hat, and she goes, and shove your hair up under that hat, and you go into your audition and be a man. Why?
Wow.
Why? You're wondering why?
Yeah.
Well, because I was auditioning for a lawnmower. Should I
A
tell this to you?
lawnmower?
You know the story. Maybe I don't want to bore you guys.
You
with
were
this.
auditioning to be a lawnmower?
No, to ride a lawnmower.
Oh, ride a lawnmower. That's different.
Yes, this is a ride-along lawnmower. Could you do that sound? That's it. You sit on it, and you ride it around, and you cut grass, and this was a big deal back then.
Sure, I think it still is. People still cut grass, from what I understand.
Well, the part was you put on a hat, and you're riding around on this lawnmower, and you're cutting grass, and it's a hot day, and then they're thinking, wow, that man's doing a good job on the grass. Look at him mow that grass. And at the end of the commercial, the girl's supposed to take off her hat.
Yep.
And the hair tumbles out, and she says, I'm a girl.
And I can cut grass.
It's not a man. Girls cut grass.
Girls cut grass, too.
You could have got the part.
My sister cut her finger in a lawnmower.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, she really did. And that's how I got my nephew. But I can't explain it to you all right now. I'll have to tell you that story later.
Please ask her later. In the comments, write that down. Say, tell us about when your sister cut her finger in
That's
the
how I
lawnmower.
got my nephew. Yeah. But anyway, I'll tell you the details. But yeah, she did. Okay, rule number 2. Don't ever stick your hand into a running lawnmower if
That's
something's stuck in it. Do not do that.
That's an excellent rule.
Very bad decision on my sister's part, who normally is a very bright person.
Does she have fingers now?
She has. They sewed it back on, but it doesn't look as good as it did when it started.
Terrible.
I know.
Does she know you're telling the story?
No,
about
I just
finger
thought
in the
about it now
lawnmower?
because you said lawnmower. Okay, so we know you didn't get that part.
Well, okay, just to say, I went into the audition dressed like a man. I kept my head down until they talked to me. All the casting people were there sitting at a table, and they said, hi, Chris. And I picked my head up, and they went, they realized I was not a man. And I took off my hat just like the commercial. Because I thought that's so, my agent was trying to get me to get ahead of everybody else. Do just like the commercial. Take your hat off and do the hair tumble out and surprise them all at the casting table. And so I did. And it was a hot, sunny day. And for some reason, hair gets kind of stuck up in a hat on a hot day. And so when I went to take off my hat and do, I'm a girl, my hair didn't come out of the hat. It just stayed on like a point on my head. It just stayed like the hat. This big old ball on my head.
Wait, but there's a good ending to this story. They cast you in something else.
Yes, after they looked at me with pathetic eyes, and poor thing, she tried so hard. I go, well, we're not going to cast you for this part, but we got another one for you.
And what was it?
It was for a bank commercial. I played a bank teller who is really kind of goofy.
That's perfect for you.
It was, because I couldn't count money. I can say, sir, do you want a 20? It's with a 2 and an O on it. And it was really bad. But
Well, that's great. So that started you off. You just when you're 18, you started doing
18.
commercials.
do commercials for a long
And then did
time.
you do voiceovers down there too?
I think it wasn't until I had been doing commercials and like parts on TV stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
From San Diego?
Yeah. I was on 8 is Enough.
No
and,
way.
Yeah, it was a couple of shows. But then it's like I was working
What did
really...
you play on 8 is Enough?
Oh. Well, I played a girl on the beach with my boyfriend. It was a big role.
Was
In a
it?
bikini.
Woo!
Oh, yeah. I don't want to talk about it. It'll sound like I'm trying to talk about myself. But if you really want to hear about it.
Yeah, we do.
I'm kidding. No.
I worked on a cartoon show, Dungeons and Dragons, with Willie Ames, and they were on 8 is Enough, right?
That was a really
and they
really
worked
fun
on
show.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Really?
Yeah, we worked on that show for
You guys ought to let
5
me
years
interview
or
her.
something.
I should interview her. And
So
find out.
Willie Ames, as you know, because did you meet him?
Yeah,
Okay. Nice guy, and I remember praying for him,
Wow.
and he became Bible man.
Oh my gosh, that's right. He did. Williams was Bible Man.
And I saw him a few years ago down at Pensacon. We did a Dungeons and Dragons panel.
Did you
Donnie
see him?
Most, it was so wonderful to see him and talk to him. I hadn't seen him in forever. He lives in Canada. He writes Hallmark movies, and now I think he's sponsoring a boat racing team, some sort of sport team, but super, super nice guy. And Donnie Most, who was on Happy Days, also was on Dungeons and Dragons, and he was supposed to come, but then he ended up doing a play. So it was just me and Willie. We were the panel. Me and Willie. And Adam, they couldn't get a hold of him. But one time when we were at Focus in Colorado Springs, at the airport, I saw Adam Rich because he had been racing motorcycles up on Pikes Peak.
Sheesh, you've seen everybody.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. So you were bikini. Were you in movies too?
You guys are you're gonna turn the channel. I'm telling you.
Don't. That's rule number 1. Don't tell people to turn the channel.
Don't turn the channel. But I would say this: doing all these commercials and parts and stuff, voiceover just seemed to be the lane I got in and didn't want to get back out because it freed me to be anything. I was doing a lot of the really pretty
Dumb
blondes,
blondes.
yes, and I would go to auditions and you'd see all these really pretty women like sitting with their hair. This is the 80s, so you guys have these big hairs.
Farrah Fawcett hair.
Yes, and they had these glossy lips and everything, and it's like, and I would be like Lucy. I just wouldn't fit into this. I couldn't be. I could try to compete in that, but it wasn't me. It made me laugh to try to act that way. So it was like, I remember like I was homecoming queen at my high school.
Did you have a gun?
No.
Oh.
But I did.
Song,
I couldn't stand the
Queen
image.
has a gun. Everybody run. Homecoming Queen. That's the one thing I'm really worried. What I was worried about doing this show without Will is I'm going to sing something and he won't stop me and we're going to get, sued or something. Anyway, okay. So you were homecoming queen.
Yes, I brought that up because the whole image of being prettier or better than anybody bothered me because that's not how I feel about life. Beauty is really much more than just the surface stuff, and you agree with that, I know.
I do.
So what I did was I blacked out.
I didn't even try.
She's a natural beauty. And her husband thinks so.
Okay.
Cruel one.
So.
He's smiling. You
but
guys
yes,
can't see.
no,
He's doing this.
Chris has the most wonderful heart, generous heart, and you guys know who follow her. Smell this. It doesn't smell like anything.
It smells like plastic.
Okay. So anyway, you felt voiceover was way more fun.
Yeah, and the
It's
reason
more real too.
I blacked out my teeth because I just didn't want the image of I'm waving and beautiful.
You blacked out your teeth in the homecoming parade.
I got in trouble. They said, Chris, you're not taking it very serious.
They voted for you, and you are really disappointing us.
Well, there's this part where you get on like convertibles and you ride around the football field.
I want to see a picture of that. Do you have a picture?
Oh, no.
If you find one, I'm going to put it in this episode of Crew of One. Put it in, because that would be pretty awesome.
Well, they make you ride around the field at the halftime and homecoming court, and you sit on the back of a convertible with a homecoming queen. Homecoming queen. And I had on this crown and this beautiful gown.
I bet you were gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my girlfriend made this royal blue dress for me. The dress was gorgeous. And right as it came time for me to pass the whole crowd, I bent, they took a pencil, and they blacked out my whole front teeth. And so I was looking at him, and I could see the homecoming king going, "You're not going to do that, are you?" And so as the car pans around and we're waving and waving and waving, I just went like, "What?" And everybody goes,
There is so much more.
Okay.
So you went from San Diego. Somehow you ended up in LA because
I
your
moved to
career
LA.
was blossoming.
My agent says, "Don't go to LA. Stay here and don't go to LA. It's a big city. It's going to gobble you up."
And of course you didn't listen.
I didn't listen. Went with my girlfriend. We moved, and there, believe it or not, I met my husband.
You gotta move sometimes.
Gotta move. And a good thing I did move, because there he was. He was singing in a club, playing acoustic guitar, singing his original songs. And he kind of sounded like a James Taylor, country James Taylor. And when I heard him sing, I went, "Oh."
Oh, see, I never heard this part before. Okay.
Well, I had to take a little side job when I moved to LA, and I had to take on something that could make some money, because I had clients in San Diego, but not in LA. So I thought, everybody acting wise, they're a waitress. They could waitress tables and waitress things. And I didn't know how to waitress very well. I didn't know how to waitress at all. As a matter of fact, I didn't know anything. And so I took a little waitress job. And there in the club, he was singing up on stage. And it was my first waitress job, and I'm trying to carry a tray, which was dangerous as it was. And he was singing on stage. And I was making a mess of the orders. I couldn't get anything right, so I decided I'm going to do voices. And
Which, of course, always helps if you screw up an order, right?
I had to get tips some way, so I was doing voices for the audience while I was trying to. They go, "Gosh, she's really good with the voices." But
I didn't order this.
But they didn't notice. And I think I lost money. I was giving back more money than I was making. I was terrible, and so I'm doing, "Hi, honey, what do you have to drink?" And Jerry, my husband's up on stage, and he's singing this ballad, this deep song with his rich voice, and
he has a beautiful voice.
I'm going to tell him she said that, because that's really nice.
Tell him to watch the show.
That's what I should do.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, he was singing, and people were so into him. They were like, "Oh my gosh," everything he was saying. All these groupies of women going, "If you'll only marry me," and I'm with my waitress tray going, "Hi, well," and I'm getting louder and louder, trying to make a living and trying to entertain and trying to make tips, and it was going. He could hear all this happening in the back of the room.
You were kind of upstaging him, as they say, perhaps.
Little, yeah. And he says, over the microphone, he says, "Who is making all the noise in the back of the room?" And I went, "Me! I'm trying to make a living too back here." And the audience went, "Oh, this is bad."
Is this a setup? Is she a plant?
And he goes, "Oh, really? Well, I have a microphone and I'm on stage and I'm trying to make a living too." And I went, "La-di-da."
Did you really? Oh, God.
Because I secretly liked him. I thought, I'm going to get so
that if someone says la-di-da to you, it means they secretly like you.
So he says, "Well, if you're so good, why don't you come up here and perform for everybody?"
And Chris said, all right, I will. Make way. Prince Ali. I can't sing that.
Ali is he? Ali Ababa.
Here she comes.
I can't believe I'm
I
telling
keep thinking you're going to knock this water
probably
over.
will.
I'm going to move it. It scares me. Okay.
So because the story gets too long, I'll just sum it up. I went up on stage, set down my
Chris
tray.
can make any 1 minute story last for 4 hours.
Because I'm so enthralled with my story.
Yes, well, you're good at it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I set down my tray, and I went, all right, big entertainer. Clear away from the mic, because he was sitting in front of the mic. I just went like this. He goes, who's this waitress that's going to come up here and entertain? He had no idea.
He invited you.
He invited me. So I said, he goes, can you sing? I said, can I sing? Of course, I can't really sing. So I went, I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. I think, oh shoot, I'm a sugar bowl. Then you were cracking up and he's going, what is she doing?
I've labored for hours to write these songs, and I practice my chords, and she says something stupid like that, and everybody...
No! What else can she do? What else can she do? And Jerry's going, get her off the stage!
And that began a romantic relationship that has lasted for how many years? You just had
36.
an anniversary. I know. Congratulations.
Thank
there
you.
you go. So, yes, I don't think it could have gotten off to a worse start. And yet, successful relationship. So, that probably gave you the experience to open up for... Didn't you open up for talk shows or game shows? Didn't you have a job doing that?
Boy, you're going really deep. She's getting it all.
That's what they call deep cuts in the music business. We're in the voiceover business.
Well, I was a warm-up. They call it a warm-up when you warm up for shows.
How'd you get that?
That's another one of those I kind of weaseled my way in. Somebody asked me if I could do it, and I said, yeah. And I really couldn't.
Well, you could, because you did.
I did, because...
You were telling the truth. You just
I did.
Hadn't done it yet.
True. Sometimes you just, not that you're lying, you just say, you have to be a little bold and say, sure, I can do it.
Or not be afraid of failing. Let's say that.
Well, I figure
give it a try.
I've been doing things on stage and emceeing events, and I can do stuff like that.
So you had done that.
But the thing about a warm-up, and that's what they call it, when a warm-up is someone before a taping of a sitcom or a television show.
So, what was your first thing you warmed up?
You have to come out, and you talk to the audience, and you have to keep their energy going, and you have to make them laugh, and you have to interact with them, and you have to really keep... Because there's like a million takes in sitcoms. They stop and do it again and do it again. And so the audience is going, oh, they're going to do it again.
Why did we think this would be fun?
Yeah, so the warm-up has a lot of responsibility to come out and keep the energy up. And I ended up getting a bag of Snickers candy bars. And I'd be throwing candy, but people...
Oh, that'll keep them excited.
Well,
yeah.
it was just...
So what was your first show you did warm-up for? Do you remember?
Oh, gosh.
Wasn't that long ago?
Oh, well... the thing about warming up is, I gotta say, you gotta know your boundaries when you do that, because you can actually get in a lot of trouble. Like, I
wonder why you would bring this up.
You invite people to come up and do things.
Oh.
And one time I invited somebody up, that was in the audience, and I said, I was having fun, and I invited him to come up, and he kept going like this, and I thought, oh, he's being funny. He could come up here, and I go, hey, can anybody sing the theme song to the show? I think it was Tracy Ullman. Do you remember?
You were warming up Tracy.
Don't talk about that. Okay, and so
this is so interesting because Kimmy had a Tracy Ullman experience too.
Okay, so listen, this is bad. This is a bad thing.
Okay.
So I had this guy. I kept pressuring him to come up and come on, sing the theme song, and he came up. And he was not happy. And turns out he was with somebody he shouldn't have been with. And the camera went, whew. And they saw the person he was with, which was not the person he was supposed to be with. Ooh, he got very mad. He goes, I did not want to go up there and do this, because most people were dying to come up and do stuff. They want to come up and sing, tap dance, they want to be on camera.
But the camera doesn't show the audience warm up on that show they did. Because normally it
apparently they did. Sometimes they film a little bit of what's going on, and he goes, he was not happy. I thought, I don't think this is my job for me anymore.
Is that what made you leave?
Yeah, it was one of them. And plus, there's so much pressure. If the show's not funny, they blame the warm-up. They'll say, what's wrong with the warm-up? The audience is not laughing at anything. It's not that the show isn't funny. They go, it's the warm-up. They're not keeping the audience up and laughing. And it's like, it became pressure to have to do that. And not take, you're carrying a whole responsibility of the show's kind of stinky and it's your fault.
Wow.
So anyways.
So let me ask you a question. Now that you've been in the business for quite a while, I'm just curious, and in life,
yes,
all right, is there anything that you used to do that you don't do anymore, and vice versa? Is there anything you never did that you do now that you've...
To enjoy the full episode, please support us at patreon.com/tellyoulater. Thanks a lot.
All right, and if you want to learn some more fabulous holiday crafts, join us next time, and we will tell you later.
Tell You Later is a Patreon-driven entertainment show. So what are you waiting for? Come on over. Join us at patreon.com/Tell You Later.
Languid fiddle.
Everybody, hi Patreon family. Guess what today is? Today is Scrubulator Drawing Day. And Crew of One isn't here today to film me. But that's okay, because we can do this by ourselves. Here is our popcorn bucket with all the names of the patrons. We decided a long time ago that it doesn't matter what level you're at. We appreciate all of you for supporting the show. But we did decide that once you've won, you have to put a cap on it for a year, because everybody deserves a Scrubulator. Wait a minute. I actually do make them myself. And I have this week's selection are blue. They're blue and white. And each one is unique. So I don't know which one I'll pick. But let's pick a name first. And they all come with this snazzy little tag that I sew in myself. Can you read that? What does it say? Tell You Later Show Official Scrubulator. Handmade by me, Katie Leigh. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to pick a name. I'm not going to look. They all feel the same to me. Let's see who it is. It is Barb Maritsky. You get a Scrubulator. Okay, enjoy. You can scrub your feet. You can scrub your dishes. You can scrub your face. You can scrub anything you want. All right, I'll get that off to you. But wait, which one? Let's see. I'm going to put those in the bucket, too. They are in the bucket. I'll mix them up, mix them up, mix them up. And, ooh, okay, you get the 2-colored 3-ply Scrubulator. All right. See you next month.